Some of the important definitions in state space analysis. They are state, state variable, and state vector. Let's see what is state. The state of a dynamic system is defined as the minimal set of variables such that the knowledge of these variables at t equal to t naught, which is initial conditions, together with the knowledge of the inputs for t greater than t naught, completely determines the behavior of the system for t greater than t naught. See, in simple manner we can say that the name itself indicates that state, right? So what is the state of the system, right? It is a group of variables. It is having some group of variables which summarize the history of the system. That means previous values, history of the system, in order to predict the future values. So I will repeat one more time. Here it is a group of variables which summarize the history of the system, in order to predict the future values. That is called as state. Coming to the state variables. The variables involved in determining the state of the dynamic system x of t are called state variables. So what are the variables that are involved to determining the state of the dynamic system? That variables are called as state variables. In other words, I can say that it is a set of variables which describes the system at any time instant are called as state variables. So similarly we can say x1, x2 and so on, xn of t are nothing but state variables. So there are n state variables. Right. Basically, these are normally the energy storing elements containing in the system. So state variables are normally taken as energy storing elements containing in the system. In other words, also we can say that state variables are smallest set of variables that determines the state of the system. It is having smallest set of variables that determine the state of system. Right. And the third one is state vector. Let's see, state vector. In simple manner, I can say that it is a vector which containing state variables as elements. So what are the state variables here? x1 of t, x2 of t and so on, xn of t. If you write in terms of a vector, they are called as state vector, right? So it is a vector which contains state variables as elements, then it is called as state vector. Also called as another definition, the n state variables necessary to describe the complete behavior of the system can be considered as n components of the vector x of t called the state vector at a time t. So these are the major definitions in state space analysis.